Hello, I am Test Drive, and welcome to my sort of annual end of the year, beginning of the next year video. So, it is currently, hopefully, January 1st whenever I'm uploading this. I'm recording this way too late. I will hopefully get it up in time, but we'll see. But I want to talk about basically stuff that happened in the previous year, as well as things that I plan for this year. So, let's get started. And before we actually go, there will be timestamps down below if you want to skip to certain parts, like, I don't know. If you want to, it's there. And so starting off with the beginning of sorts is that at the beginning of 2024, I actually had a goal, I guess, goal challenge, something like that, to start a brand new playthrough every single month of 2024. All the way from January to December, there was going to be one more new Let's Play on my channel. And believe it or not, I actually succeeded. The most recent one was Sloodstorm, which I did a little bit later because I was starting them on the 1st of the month. But Sloodstorm, I don't know, I just kind of made it a Christmas thing, or 25th or whatever, because I was actually sick, believe it or not, at the beginning of the month. So it just kind of ended up being shifted to the end of the month. Did I say the end of the month? Beginning of the month, I was sick. So it did make it out, and that was that. I will not be doing this for the next year, just going to mention that. So in terms of consistency over the previous year, things were iffy at best. I know there was a lot of times where there weren't really any videos for a bit, or a week, or something, for various reasons, whether it be just me being me, or, like I said, I was sick for a little bit, which was completely unexpected, so that was really cool. Consistency wasn't the greatest. I know there was some time when I had like 2 videos per day going for a couple of weeks or like a month or something. It wasn't the whole year for sure. But in terms of other consistency of sorts, I did actually start trying to get an editing style going. Obviously with the videos I make, the stuff isn't crazily edited, like, you know, you go watch like Maxor or something, and his videos are insanely edited with all kinds of effects and colors and clips of sound and video, and that's not really what I'm doing. But I do actually do a little bit of editing in my videos, of course. Specifically with that, I do a lot of cleaning things up, mostly, especially in the menus of games. I know that's like kind of the most boring part of sorts. So I try and, anytime I'm not like talking or there's not something on the screen that's being shown that's like important, I will probably just cut it out, and I basically just go through all of that. So like whenever I do like a 2-hour long video, there's quite a bit of cutting out that I do. And in terms of the playthroughs I did in the previous year, I would say the most interesting one to me personally was Ridge Racer, actually. Ridge Racer PSP, simply because I had never played a Ridge Racer game before that. That is legitimately my first Ridge Racer game I have ever played, let alone, or on video, let alone at all. I played maybe a little bit of Ridge Racer 5 just because I bought it and I was like testing it out. I remember running directly into walls a lot. It was my whole entire like 10 minutes worth of experience in that game. So to actually sit down and play through a full legit Ridge Racer game, we're not talking about Unbounded here, it was nice. I actually really enjoyed it, and I'm kind of done with it. There's still the max tours that I haven't done, but I'm kind of like iffy on whether I'm going to actually do them or not. I might just call it good and upload the credits and all of like the special videos, because there's like a E3 video and some other stuff that unlocks as you go through the game. Altogether, I actually really enjoyed it, and I was very happy that I was able to actually pick it up and make it through it, because again, with my only experience being me being not good on Ridge Racer 5 on the PS2, I didn't really have the highest of hopes, I guess, but I think I got it down good enough, and I didn't actually have to retry much stuff, so it was a very nice, smooth experience. And for some kind of nerdy stuff, my longest playthrough I did over the past year that I actually completed, actually I think it would be the longest one overall, because I don't think I have anything going that's, well, maybe GT7, but GT7 is, I'll talk about that in a minute. But Test Drive Unlimited for the PlayStation 2 came out to a total of 33 hours of game time that I actually had recorded and uploaded, because I have like a list, because I'm a giant nerd, of course. I have a list of all the games I've played, the amount of different videos I have of them, as well as the total video runtime. I don't keep track of like actual game time usually, unless it's like Steam hours or maybe like Xbox or PlayStation's numbers. But yeah, Test Drive Unlimited on the PlayStation 2 was the longest one at a total of 33 hours, believe it or not. I don't know how that actually compares to 100%ing the 360 version or the PC version, because I've not actually done that, believe it or not. Whenever I originally played through the 360 version, I basically just did all of the race events and speed and whatever, and that was it. I didn't do a lot of the side content. I didn't discover all the roads. It was nice to actually go do it too, because it was honestly a really fun game, and it was kind of like getting to experience Test Drive Unlimited again, which I had the PSP version first and then 360 version and PC version, but getting to experience it again in a slightly different light. Some differences in how it played, the content, stuff like that. Very, very interesting. If you haven't seen that video series, I would definitely recommend it. It's probably my second favorite playthrough I did an entire year, just because, you know, it's Test Drive Unlimited. I am literally Test Drive. And then the second longest was another Test Drive game, funny enough, Test Drive Ferrari Racing Legends. If you remember, I played through that. I don't know who would, but yes, that game that is still available to buy for some reason, even though it has the Ferrari license on it, and it's been out for 12 years, I think. Yeah, it's still available to buy on Steam. Fun fact. And it also has games from Windows Live, which is, you know how that is. But yeah, it was like 30 hours, I think, of video time. Interesting that my longest playthroughs of the year were both Test Drive games of some sort. But out of those, I would definitely say to watch the Test Drive Unlimited on PS2 playthrough. Ferrari Racing Legends is, it was okay. That's all I'll give it, is it was okay. And speaking of stuff I started in the past year, and also something that I started the year before, Fuel, Need for Speed Underground Rivals, and Final Fantasy 13 will all still be getting finished. I swear, I have not forgotten about them. Fuel is just a big time commitment. Underground Rivals is pretty much close to being done anyways, and Final Fantasy 13 is also a big time commitment, and I also still suck at Final Fantasy games. So I will be finishing those 100% this year, not 100% games, but I'm absolutely going to be finishing them. With however much I want to complete. I'll be finishing those. Speaking of the other video series I still have going, like Gran Turismo 7, Rise for Challenge 2, technically Need for Speed Shift, that's a whole different story. But the first two, Rise for Challenge 2 and Gran Turismo 7, I have, or had, a nice monitor, like 1440p, 165 hertz. Specifically the 1440p part, plus the fact that it actually took a 4K signal and downscaled it to 1440p, that monitor died, believe it or not. So I am completely stuck to 1080p monitors at the moment because I haven't had enough funds to go out and buy another 1440p monitor. That monitor was what allowed me to record at the quality that I could. Obviously, I still can, but it would be through the capture card, and it's got a delay, and not really a fan of that. Until I figure out a monitor situation that's at least 1440p, that stuff is on hold, and it even actually says it on the playlist on my channel, and there's even a little section for like stuff that's on hold. And then, like I said, Need for Speed Shift and also Portal are games that I could play, but haven't gotten around to doing more of what I want to do with them. Well, Shift I actually have to get a modded Xbox, but that'll come hopefully this year. I really hope that in the next year I have a modded Xbox 360. And speaking of a second ago, when I was talking about how Ridge Racer was probably my favorite game I played through this year just because it was different and I actually really enjoyed it, the worst game that I played in the last year was probably the first game I played in the last year, which was Need for Speed Nitro. It just wasn't great. It's not like a bad game at its core necessarily, although the physics are iffy and the collision detection is also very iffy, and it's just not amazing, and it also is really boring. Which is funny to say about a game that has a crazy art style, but there's like 6 total tracks in the game, there's not that many cars, and the races get really repetitive, and there's not really many types of races. It's really just like not a big package, but they somehow made it go on for a 10-hour or something playtime. By the end of it, I was very tired of it, and also with some AI stuff and little glitches and, like I said, collision detection and stuff. Really not a game I really want to ever go back to again. And speaking of stuff that I haven't went back to, I know I was making some shorts and some monthly highlight videos here on my channel in the first couple of months of the year. And that stuff was fun, but as like my editing got better and I guess changed more so, they kind of started becoming a lot more of a hassle to get together. Time is not infinite in my life. I would like to do some stuff like it in the future still, but I don't know how or what I'm going to do it with, because again, it's like whenever I'm editing a 2-hour-long video, which is actually kind of what I want to do, funny enough, it's kind of hard to pick out the crazy good moments. Throughout the first part of the year, it was like really short videos and I could remember things a lot easier, and it was also a lot easier just to kind of skim through the entire video. When the videos become 10 times longer than that, not as easy. But I would still like to bring some of that back. But that's enough talking about the previous year. I think that's all I have to say. I don't think there's anything else I have to say. There's nothing else on my list that I have. So, on to this year, technically. I mean, I'm not recording this year, but you're watching this year of 2025. So one of the big things I really do want to work on for this year is having more variety of sorts. Not just with games I'm playing, but also I would like to play some game series that I haven't touched actually, or like one-offs or stuff by developers I haven't touched, like Milestone. I don't think I've ever played a Milestone game yet on my channel, but they have a ton of racing games, all from series that I haven't really touched ever, I don't think. Like Apex on the Xbox. I have somewhere there, I think. I don't know. Also, in addition to that, with the game variety, I would like to create some different types of content of sorts. Obviously, playthroughs and Let's Plays will not be going anywhere. That is the thing that I do, and I will be... Nice voice crack. I will be continuing to do it as long as I'm making videos, basically. But I have watched a lot of videos also in the past year just while eating, or as kind of like a second monitor thing a lot. There's a lot of different styles of like videos talking about games that isn't like playing. I mean, I guess it's not a playthrough of them, and I would like to try some of that. But in the first few months here of the year, it won't be quite as easy because I have actually a pretty big project that is more personal life things that is going to involve me moving a lot of my stuff. So that will probably hold that up a bit. But once that stuff is done, it should actually make everything a lot smoother and a lot better, smoother and better for both me on the creation side as well as you on the viewer side. So that will be very nice whenever it happens. But for now, I will just kind of be doing probably just simple stuff, maybe working on Underground Rivals or Fuel or whatever for the first, maybe not even a month of the year. Hopefully it'll happen faster than that by the end of January, but we'll see. I will probably make its own video for that because it's going to be kind of a big change for me, at least. Whenever that happens, you'll definitely hear about it in some way. And speaking of the uploading side of things, I would like to keep a little more consistency. As I mentioned, previous year, not the greatest for consistency. There was a lot of times where there'd be like a week or two between uploads, and I would like to not do that as much, especially because there were also weeks where I did upload a bunch of stuff. Like I said, like 2 to 3 videos a day even. I would like to keep some consistency, maybe like a couple of days a week specifically that are 100% going to be days that have videos. That's as far as I've gotten with that though, so I'm just kind of rolling with that. I'm very much a go with the flow kind of person, and I kind of figure out things as I go a lot of the time, especially with like making videos and even editing and uploading times and whatnot. It's hard for me to put down like a specific schedule of any sort, which is probably why like stuff like streaming never worked out for me that much. I would like to I don't know. I want to organize things better. I want to consistency. I want to consistency. And going back to talk about the bigger projects a little bit more, those will most likely not be included in the consistency section, because I don't know much about making stuff like that, and I'm going to be kind of figuring it out as I go. Because it's like, I kind of watch stuff, and I'm like, oh, I could probably make something like that, but it's not like I'm dissecting every little piece of it. I'm just kind of like, oh, that's cool. I want to do something. I'm definitely going to try and keep as much of like a style of my own to it as I possibly can. I wouldn't expect too much consistency with that at the beginning, at least. We'll probably try and at least like somewhat have a consistency with it, maybe like twice a month, maybe once a month. I have no idea yet. That will be decided whenever I get around to it. And going back to also the goal I had last year of starting 1 new playthrough per month, I am not doing that this year. It was fun. It was fine, actually. It worked actually really well. Started 12 games a month, or 12 games in the year, and I completed most of them. So it actually worked really well. But I don't really think I'm going to do that this year, just because again, like, I'm kind of just a person that does things as I feel like doing them. So I think that's probably what we're going to see more of this year, since it's like, oh, I want to start whatever, this game or that game. It's like, I don't want to be shackled down by a made-up thing or like a made-up schedule or something. I will just be doing things as I please. I will be, of course, I don't want to start too many games, basically. I don't want to go too hog wild with it. But that also means I can take more time to finish stuff if I need to, or whatever. And alongside starting new stuff, I might actually see what like game series I've been working on that I could possibly finish this year too. Like if there's like 1 or 2 games left, or like the Ford Racing series, or the Ford branded games in general. There's only a couple left, besides like different versions of, like mobile versions of some of the games I've already played. I might go that direction as well. And finally, relating to the games, I actually might try and start up at least one big project for this year. Maybe like a Forza Motorsport 3 level of big, or Gran Turismo 6, 5, I don't know. Something like that would be very fun. Even maybe like Forza Horizon 2, which is massive, by the way. Has like 300 and something championships, I think, or 200 and something, or 100 and something maybe. It's a lot. I want to at least try to start something of that caliber. I obviously don't want to do it for everything, but having one wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. And then finally we'll talk about the thing you're seeing in this video as well as the previous video. Obviously, my looks have changed a little bit. I basically just went back to my old hair. Speaking of VTubing things specifically, I would like to do a little bit more. I'd like to do more up and active stuff, actually a lot. Like Wii games or Xbox Connect, or maybe even stuff outside of that. I don't know yet. But it is something that I've thought about, and it was something, or is something that I would like to do a lot. Even stuff like maybe doing like more Guitar Hero or Rock Band kind of stuff, because that stuff is not just me sitting in front of a computer with a controller in my hands, as I usually am. It will be interesting whenever we get there. And I think that's pretty much everything I want to talk about. I know I mentioned streaming a little bit. There's a chance I might stream a little bit more in this year. Like I said, I'm never good at keeping a schedule with it, or being able to be consistent about it, I guess. It's kind of iffy, but there's a chance I might at least do some things, like even just like, maybe I'll just do it on a YouTube stream and just leave it at that, or whatever. It'll all be told in the future whenever I get around to having the ideas or deciding on things, really. At the moment, I'm very undecided on a lot of things. But I think that is all I have to say for now for this beginning of the year update video. It did go on for a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but not a big deal. Hope you all had a great year and a great end of the year, and have a great New Year's as well. Like I said, I'm going to be experiencing mine in not very long from now. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in whatever videos come out this year. Need for Speed, or Underground Rivals, or Fuel, or yeah. I'll see you then.